And welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. So we're going to have another multiplayer game session. It looks like we got 9 or 10 people showing up. Obviously it will take them a while to all get here and get on, so we probably won't start for like 10-15 minutes, maybe. We'll see. So I'm going to stay silent unless there's stuff for me to comment about, and hopefully people will start getting on soon. Thank you, Average. It's appreciated. I don't know yet, Average. I'm still undecided. It kind of depends on who shows up, who doesn't show up. Since I can play pretty much any of these countries reasonably well, I should probably wait till, we know how unbalanced or balanced the teams are going to be. I prefer not to be stuck as the Soviets, but I might end up as them. We'll see. Well, we are sticking somewhat along the whole historical route, so I've stuck on a couple rules, which I can go over. So I've decided, I'm trying to figure out what we should do for war goals, because last game we had the Soviet Union massively boost world tension early on. So maybe war goals at attention, I don't know. Maybe what people decide about that. Release nations only at peace. You can only guarantee. Actually, we should probably leave that as is. Can't do coups. Can only boost party popularity versus AIs. And that's pretty much where we were for forced rules. Only other ones are minor ones. Well, France is the French player. Probably not. You might want to consider making the agreement with Italy over Yugoslavia, though. They propose letting, as long as you don't interfere with them taking Yugoslavia, they won't join the Axis to attack you, France. That might be worth it. Well, once the war breaks out, pretty much everything's a go. So if somebody wants to try a Spanish D-Day, yeah, that's a viable thing once Spain is in the war. Currently, there does not appear to be a Japan player. There's also not a communist China player, a Soviet, a Canada, South Africa, all of those ones. We do have an America player, which is nice. Our Italian player is slightly delayed, it looks like, but they should be here soon. Looks like we've picked up a Mexico player. Our previous UK player, Dath Romeo, looks like they're willing to pick up Mexico, so that could be kind of interesting. We also have a growing number of, I think the plotting is probably growing. We'll see. I'm going to wait to jump into chat rooms till the game starts. So. Also, this time I've remembered to put the difficulty down to regular rather than elite, which should help a lot. I don't know where DeVos, who's supposed to be playing Japan, is. Maybe they just can't make it. Well, I don't know how much longer we can afford really to wait. I think we got one more person joining, but then we'll just have to let them hut join. Cause we can't afford to wait much longer. I think I'll probably give them like 2-3 more minutes, and then they can hut join afterwards when they arrive. No, I'm not going to be Bhutan. I'm just lurking on it because I don't think anyone else in the world is going to join or try and play Bhutan. What do I expect from this game? I suspect there will be a lot of mocking from the allies towards the Axis and potentially back and forth. I expect it to stay largely historical to some degree, as in people can't attack other people until certain rough dates. if, for example, if Germany, well, we don't have a USSR player, so that doesn't really apply. Somebody made up a couple little rules, but looks like the big thing seems to be that you can't start World War II too early. I mean, World War II starts in, I think, what, 39? So once that starts, then, you know, World War II can get underway. Yeah, 39 is the earliest full-on World War II can start. Oof. Do people want me to play the Soviets? I mean, I could play the Soviets, but I like the Soviets. It's just hard to play it. People want a 5-6 minute wait. Can people handle a 5-6 minute wait until someone else gets back? They're the Italian player, so I suppose it matters there. I suppose I could do Soviets if I have to. Yeah, essentially, so the Germany can't immediately attack Norway. Yeah. And since I'm the Soviet player, I can kind of roughly control the whole world tension to some degree because I have much better control over that than most people. Plus, I could also fabricate claims like boost ideologies like crazy in tons of the European ones. Everyone's trying to persuade me to play the Soviets. I haven't played the Soviets in ages. I don't actually really know how one plays the Soviets. Okay, we'll wait till this other person gets back and then we'll start. We're gonna have a Chinese player on their own. Hopefully they can beat AI Japan. That would be interesting. Why everyone's jumping all over the map, changing their countries and stuff. Cuba player, Haiti player. Oh my gosh, you guys are just mocking me now. The other option is I don't play a country, I just do observer mode and watch everything going on. That way, you know, I can actually see what's going on in the world better. Those are the ones with just YouTube accounts average. There's other people who can watch it too. They just don't show up in the viewers. Plus, once we get going, we'll probably pick up a couple more. Also, we got someone else coming finally. That's nice. People might want to wander back to the actual countries they're going to play. Just offhand. Oh, there we go. I was actually able to close that the lobby page. Okay. Probably. I mean, I'm just literally on the Soviets because we don't have a Soviet player here. And people seem to think we need a Soviets, even though I'm both hesitant to play the Soviets and a little bit interested. The issue is I'm not very good at fighting Germany as them. So I guess I'm not really that good as them, am I? I mean, I could always buff Russia, buff the Soviets a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's about fair. Just sit back and watch as, the 5 wide divisions annihilate German tanks for breakfast. Yeah, on the other hand, yeah. Well, if it was going to be AI or Russia or Soviets, I'd buff them a bit. So. Buffing the Soviets to that degree, I mean, I'm fine with that if everyone wants to watch the Soviet Union take over the world with, base infantry versus everything else. Okay, we've got another person jumping in. I don't know what they're going to play. They were going to play Argentina, but we'll see what they actually decide to do. I think that was going to be like fascist Argentina or something. Oh, Spain. Okay, yeah, they were going to do Spain. That's what they were going to do. They were going to try and stay fascist, but of course they can't join the Axis until France falls. That would be the one requirement of them. So we'll see how that goes. What series are you binge watching, Average? One of my Minecraft ones or something? The Power Fantasy tab? Yeah. Power Fantasy tab. What? It's a shame you can't buff minor nations because it would be really interesting to, buff Czechoslovakia and Austria till they're gods and watch Germany just die. That would be fun, but I guess you can only buff major nations. I don't know. I'm considering a level 1 buff just because I'd be against most of the human players, but I don't know. Oh, I don't think I ever finished that one, Average, because no one ever watched it. That's awkward. Someone actually watched it finally. When am I going to go to war with the other players? if we do this for multiple sessions, probably not till the second session, mainly because the Soviets don't get involved in till like 40 or 42 or 41 or something against Germany, so it takes a while. Also, for those who don't know your trivia of Hearts of Iron, it is in fact possible to form both the Holy Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, to essentially form the EU, and there's a couple other interestingly weird formable nations you can do. The one I'd like to see at some point is see somebody form the Ottoman Empire, because that would almost be impossible as Turkey. Well, since I think that we're going to be starting soon, I'm going to wander in and see what people are talking about in the discussion boards or discussion rooms on Discord, so that we can actually hear what people are up to. So I think I'll probably join the Axis first, see what their plot is. Or actually, no, I'll go with the Allies first. I'll come back to the Axis. So that way we have a chance for Italy to join. So here we are. See what the Allies are up to. Hello, Allies.
Oh,
Hello.
Hello there.
So, what's the plan for the Allies this game?
Survive.
Survive. That's always a good one.
Cooperate.
So what do we have? Sir America, Sir England, France, and a Sir China. Interesting. And we also
In Mexico.
and
We
Mexico.
got a Sir England. Oh my god, Max, it's Sir Britain.
No, Sir England. Sir England. Only England is represented.
Well, we've already got the insults flying against the English. So is the plan to try and defend France when the war starts, prevent them from falling, or is it to abandon France and have them play as an exiled nation?
Well, we will never abandon a friend. We will see how far we can let France live.
Okay, hopefully China can handle Japan. That should be interesting.
I hope so. It would be very embarrassing if I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to buff Japan just because they're so much stronger than you anyway. So, you're welcome.
But luckily, I'm the professional. So.
Good. Good. Also, the America and Mexico, if you wish, you can send volunteers to them early on. You just can't get involved until 40 or so.
Wait, is that allowed? Like, did you change the game settings?
I haven't disabled volunteers, but if you can afford to, by the standard restrictions of world tension and ideology, by all means. I'm not going to make it completely free, otherwise that would be broken, because I could start sending volunteers to every single nation in the game.
That will basically be a Cold War scenario, so that's...
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no Vietnam right now. That's owned by the French. We can't recreate that one.
It will be really cool, though.
Okay, well, don't tell me any of your hidden plans. I'm going to go talk to your enemies, and we'll see what they say.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Go in from there, boy.
Hello, Axis.
Hey!
Hello, Soviets.
So, what's the plan for this?
I don't think we would want to tell you.
Oh, you're not going to tell me?
Nah, boy, we want to keep it secret because you're the Soviet.
True, but no Molotov Ribbentrop packs allowed here?
No, we're gonna do that. I don't want to be cancered. I'm going to just be prepared for something not too crazy, all right? We're all casual players here.
Yeah. Well, I'll try my best. I'm not too overwhelmingly wonderful on the Soviets, but I'll do okay.
I'm okay. I mean, how's the 1 through 10? What do you think the strength of the Allies are?
In terms of players or just their countries?
Just no, just like player capability. Like, how do you think they are?
Well, Max is someone definitely to watch out for is Sir England. I know he's reasonably good at games. I don't know what France's level. I give Max at least probably 6 or so, and you can't forget Mexico and the U.S. over there. Give them too long, and they'll annihilate you. So
we'll have to hold, boys. But to be honest, we got archery, right? We got archery. We got Kyle. We have a pretty good. We've been training a little bit. We've been playing a couple of little HOI4 matches.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Well, I mean, yeah, Pumpkin hasn't, but Pumpkin, you get the game enough. You know the strat.
I know the deck meta.
We can't be sharing it before here.
Oh, well, maybe I need to just buff the Soviets just to be on the safe side. Buff the Soviets to, what is it? Let's see. What is the standard buff? 60%, 30% attack and defense on core territory.
Jeez.
Fuel consumption -80, planning speed +50, research +20. You think you can handle that?
Sure, we can do it.
Who can do anything, right? It doesn't look like our Italian player is getting here yet. He's not home yet.
He is. He just texted me that he's about to get home. He was driving home with his dad from school. He's in the car. He's literally 2 seconds from home. So. Okay.
Well, we'll see. I'm not. When did the Soviets get involved in World War II? I'm always forgetting this.
1942.
1959.
Really? Yeah, 1959.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
1951.
That's accurate.
51. Yeah. We'll go with that one. Yeah, right. 41. 41 is when you guys attacked, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, we can stall 9 years.
You can stall.
In a way, I could if I really want. For some reason, there's been kind of like a cheese that players do. When you justify in Finland, and you improve relations as Germany with Finland, they'll want to join the Axis.
Oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to be invading Finland. There's going to be no horribly defeating winter war here, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
What if we just do the Berlin-Moscow axis? Then we can all be friends.
Oh yeah, and then we could just kill the, allies.
Potentially. The thing is, we have to get far enough into the game first. You guys are probably not going to attack me this session, so we can plot next time. I mean, it's not like you have to attack me either.
Yeah. To be honest, I think since this is kind of a very casual game, I don't think we're going to be able to get to actually attacking you. That's my predicament.
We have to get France first.
Yeah.
Good luck with a French player. I didn't turn off fort, so if they went crazy, they could extend their line across Belgium and Italy. So
yeah, you don't have to do that. Well,
okay.
Actually, can you do something really weird and change Polish history so they form the Commonwealth? Actually, can you try it?
What's up?
I think you
change Polish history to allow them to form Commonwealth.
No.
Poland?
Yes.
Okay, you want Poland to form the Commonwealth?
What? No.
I mean, why the hell no?
You're Polish, you're biased.
Okay, boys. He's 2 minutes. He just texted me 2 minutes. Hold the door.
Oh.
20 minutes later, he's actually here.
Okay, boys. Put trust into him. All right.
Trust into a guy who says he'd be here in 20 minutes, and it's been 30 minutes.
Nah, boys. 2 minutes. Come on.
It's always work.
Pancake is coming in as Bulgaria, but he says he's just gonna hot join, so yeah.
Who's coming for Bulgaria?
Pancake.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine.
Don't wait on him.
The only reason we're not starting yet is because of obviously the Italy's key.
Yeah. It's also a bit of a
Yeah,
problem
he is a.
Voss isn't
He,
here.
yeah, J Voss. But I don't think he's gonna be here. He didn't say
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. Yeah, he wasn't. He hasn't responded in a while. So. Okay. Well, I'm gonna wander out of here because I've got to go join my own lonely little chat room all by myself.
Oh,
Sad gamer moment.
So sad.
Okay. Well, bye.
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 And now I'm in a chat room all by myself, chatting to myself, which, you know, is pretty historical anyway for the Soviets at this point. Hopefully we'll have this person join. Really, some people can form Indonesia. I know that's a long delay, but apparently someone says you can form Indonesia. I've never actually seen anyone do that, which would be cool. That would be really awesome.
Hello, Lord Voorwind.
Hello, who is this?
Max.
This is Sir England.
But we demand a buff for our nations because we have to wait for Italy for so long.
Oof. Well, the only one I could justify a buff on would probably be France or Mexico, so...
What about USA?
China would also be fine.
Well, the danger is whoever survives the Chinese-Japanese war is going to be unbelievably massive, so we don't really need any more buffs going in there.
Well, at least I tried. Okay.
Yeah, we tried.
Well, I mean, is the China player actually good, or are you really bad at China?
I am not an experienced China player, but I've played HOI4 for like more than 3,000 hours now.
Oh, you should be fine.
Yeah, I think I will be fine.
Just remember, if you throw forts south of Beijing along that river, they'll never get past you to invade China.
That's true.
That's what I tend to do. It works really well.
By the way, if you like get lonely in your communist chat, you can always join the allies chat, so that's no problem.
The allies are always looking for new people. We are a group of love.
Group of love and cooperation. Well, at some point when the whole war explodes and I get involved, I'll definitely be joining you guys in the chat, even if not in factions. So.
Well, Voorwind, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Nice game.
Yep, hopefully I'll survive. Dies to the Russian rebels in 5 minutes.
Well, I'm going to kick some Japanese ass, so I'm going to tell the channel.
Yeah.
Okay, have fun.
Tot ziens.
Yep. Okay, so we have our last person is joining, I believe. And then we will get started. They're literally loading in. I can just see them getting into Hearts of Iron now. Then eventually I'll actually get to start this game. He did say we could have started without him, but it's not fair to have a player get that crippled at the beginning by an AI. So I've almost formed Grand Columbia before. Greater Germany's easy. Austria-Hungary is reasonably simple. It's just wiping it all out is the slight trick. Recapturing all the territory. Okay, we should see them up there. Austria, Czechoslovakia has joined. Okay, and they are ready, so we are going to start this. I think I should do half decent as the Soviets without buffs, so I'm not too worried about it. Someone can really form the Nordic League? That would be cool. Too bad we don't have anybody whose avowed goal in this game is to conquer the Nordic countries and found the Nordic Union. That would be cool to see happen in a multiplayer game. My biggest one of my biggest griefs of this game is if you try and form Austria-Hungary, you're amazingly out of manpower as soon as you form it. It's kind of sad. Oh well. To be fair, the population isn't entirely balanced the way it is right now, so we'll see. Give everybody about 2 minutes to get all their starting stuff, and then we'll start going, unless somebody has wandered away in the meantime, which hopefully they haven't. Also, if anyone has any advice of what to do for the Soviets strategy, by all means, let me know. Because I'm not particularly great as these guys. Yeah, I'll start doing some stuff like that once I get going. I just got to get the initial industry up and running as the Soviets, because there's a lot of industry one needs to get going as the Soviets. There we go. At least that's a rough front line done. Yeah, I'm going to build civilian factories and military. Yeah, I'm going to do that standard stuff. I just got to make sure I get all my troops trained and, more importantly, supplied. I always forget about the supplied part. People are also reminding other people that you can only send infantry to Spain during the Spanish War. Yeah. Okay, well, people are pretty much ready. Let me just go through and... Actually, I gotta figure out how many even volunteers I can send to anybody. I have no idea what my volunteer limit is. I don't know. Well, we'll have to figure out that once the Spanish War starts, but it looks like everybody is ready, so we will start it off at 3. So here we go. And hopefully everybody stays nice and stable. Assuming the... Wow, we're not even getting past day 1. Oops, we just lost the United States. I think we're losing people. This is not good. America's trying to rejoin. That was sudden. Hopefully we can get past this mess. They just crashed initially, so hopefully, I mean, they are rejoining, so hopefully it will work. Oh, they had issues with editing mode. Okay, yeah, start at low and then speed up. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll start at 1 and then we'll move from there. Okay. Okay, we seem to all be moving roughly in sync. So I'll try 3. If people start really lagging, I'll go back down to 2. So, I might have messed it all up by all my troops moving around the map. I always forget how many factories the Soviets start out with. They start out with 78 total factories. That's a lot early on. That's actually, I think, the most factories out of anybody who's not the United States. That's kind of impressive, actually. I'm thinking I might not do the Great Purge to some degree. I might just wait until we get Trotsky back, put him in charge of Russia. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not going to affect anybody else other than me, really. Okay, we've got the correct game. Looks like we're on the correct difficulty, so everybody should be doing reasonably well. So France is doing their government reform. English is doing steady as she goes. The Germans are passing the Rhineland. Italy is doing the Ethiopian war logistics. US continuing New Deal. Mexico is doing National Bank. Who else did we have? We had a Spain, right? Yes, they're doing political effort. So hopefully that will succeed on them. And Non-aggression pact with China. Yeah, I can do that. So what was our final stuff? We have England, Italy, Spain, Germany, Romania, China, France, US, and then me as the Soviets, I think. So what's Romania doing? Romania is expanding the Air Force. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a Air Force base Romania, which is pretty normal for a multiplayer game. So this should be fun. We might end up going completely off the rails and still ending with it. I mean, I could technically go and start boosting ideology in somewhere like Finland or something. I think. I didn't ban political popularity, no. Just in human players. I don't think I will, though. Although I could destabilize Japan, that would be funny. Yes, I am definitely going to help China, and that is by all means totally allowed for me helping China because Japan is not a human player. If Japan was a human player, then we might have issues, but I can help these guys, China, as much as I want, which should also help to some degree build up some army experience and command power. And I believe I'm allowed to send them tanks. The only one I'm not allowed to send tanks to is Spain, so... Considering there's 3 human players on the Axis side, I might not even bother sending people to Spain because they're going to win anyway. But I suppose it would be worth it. It would only cost me 1 or 2 divisions, but still, I prefer not to lose troops if I can help it. I'm just speeding it up to 4 right now since it's early on in the game. Not much is going on. We should be able to afford 4, and then once wars start, we'll go down to 3. First war we should see is either the Spanish War or we should see the Japanese invasion of China, which will all be very interesting to see how that goes. Interesting enough, we don't actually have a Dutch player this game. And obviously, no one is playing with any of the Commonwealth nations, which is pretty normal. Also, no Communist China or Manchunko. Interesting all around. But I guess that's reasonably normal. Manchunko and Communist China aren't the most thrilling to play. Hello, Legend. I've never seen you before. Nice to see you. Unless you've changed your name. Boy, some of these research things take forever to do at the beginning. Or at least it seems that way. So the UK has already gotten their first one, and they're on to limited rearmament. I think they're the only one to have actually completed one. Oh, no, Mexico has as well. The National Bank. Other than that, everyone else is still suffering through their long beginning focus. You might be remarking about the fact that I'm playing the Soviets. So I'm not going to talk too much until things get a little bit more interesting. I'll just talk every couple minutes to let you guys know if there's been any major focus changes or stuff. Because honestly, my game is going to be really boring for quite some time. So if you guys need anything, feel free to ask questions in chat. I've got not much else to do other than obviously support China when the Japanese war begins. Yes, there is an event that makes unallied Russia declare war on you. It will happen. I'll have a civil war no matter what I do. If I try and purge people, if I try and purge people doing the Great Purge event, there's a chance of a civil war. I'm probably going to wait until Trotsky returns, and at which point I'll have to crush the Soviets. Which should be reasonably easy. That should occur long before World War II starts. Thank you, Average. Always helps some people let me know. Legend, I'm from the US, so there's that. Any long-term plan for me this game? Build up my industry and country enough to survive the inevitable onslaught of the Axis, help China win. Unfortunately, I can't. China has no path to being, for example, like they have to go democratic in the long run, but they don't have to do that for quite some time. So I don't know what else I'd do. Maybe meddle around in some of the AI nations, boost ideology once I get my stuff going. I'm going to swap from civilian economy to war immediately, boost my political power gain, and then we're going to see where I'm at. It's going to take a while before I'm productive. Oh, well, nice to meet you, Legend. How is Ukraine these days? I know it's been very unstable the past couple of years. Has that settled down at all? Annex Japan with China. I suppose if the war goes on long enough and China doesn't form the united front, they could theoretically join my faction once the war tension gets high enough. That would be weird. Or Spain could just become nationalist without a war. That could work as well. I don't know if it still goes into a civil war if they're already fascist. Okay, so we have the first completing of the focus trees. So let's see. This is going to be the really start of the major focus trees, because everyone else is doing their own. So now things are going to get more interesting. I'm curious to see what people are going to do in the long run. We'll see how it goes. This should be rather interesting. France is supporting the status quo. Germany is doing their 4 years plan. Italy is boosting industry. Germany, of course, has remilitarized the Rhineland. Romania is still going planes. US going WPA. Mexico is kicking out Calais. Nationalist Spain is building up their army. China is doing nationalism. And Japan is getting closer and closer to doing the war with China. Work on my navy a little bit. I don't use the Soviets have a navy. I don't know anything about how you play the navy with the Soviets. I suppose I could kind of put them all together. Oh, there's the beginning of the Spanish Civil War. Now we gotta pause for a minute or so. I don't think I'm gonna bother sending really anything to Spain. It's gonna be one-sided anyway. I might just lend-lease them stuff, because I've got an excess of equipment. I think that's probably all I'll do. I mean, they're going to get volunteers from Italy and Germany, so it's going to be a one-sided war anyway. Oh well. No real point in trying to stop Spain with a player running it. How long is this game going to be? It's going to go for another 2 hours or so. I know we've just finally gotten into it. It took a while, but one of our players was later than expected. I assume they assumed it would be the same time as it was 2 weeks ago, which was delayed because of me 2 weeks ago. So. Okay, we're down to speed 3, and we are starting because the Spanish War is underway. Oh yeah, once I get building things up, I'll do naval stuff, but I'm building civilian factories to the start. Oh, I'm not building. Oh, I messed that up. I should be building civilian factories. Oops, my bad. I know that too. That's dumb. Oh well. Not much I can do about that. That was a mistake on my end. World War II is 2 years in game away, easily, if not more. 3 years? 3 years, because Germany can't start the maiden war until 39. Other than that, things are going proper. Or rather, as expected all around, really. It's going to be really one-sided, this Spanish war, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, it's massively in favor of the nationalist Spain. Once it really fully kicks off. This is looking slightly awkward. It looks like Republican Spain is actually winning right now. Whoa, looks like we're having a very large collapse here of fascist Spain. I don't know what's going on. This is unexpected. Fascist Spain needs to rebuild their front lines or they're going to get overwhelmed here. Whoa, at this rate we might have a communist Spain. That would be awkward. Send volunteers to Spain? I I probably shouldn't do that. They're struggling enough. I don't think I really need to do too much to help here. I think nationalist Spain is doing fine. Or so it would seem. No. We're not allowing tanks to be sent. Part of the reason I'm keeping an eye over here to make sure nobody is sending tanks. People are trying to persuade me to go help communist Spain. I'm already sending them supplies, so they should be doing pretty well there. Oh, although apparently I'm not able to deliver them anymore. That's awkward. Maybe there's enough raiding going on to stop them. Well, Great Britain does have a focus tree that does allow them to intervene in the Spanish Civil War. I think Mexico does as well. So technically, if they did those focuses, they could get involved to some degree. I think it mainly involves sending volunteers, but you never know. We have a little bit of mocking coming out of the Chinese player saying that Spain is going to be a home by Christmas scenario. I mean, it's entirely possible that the Axis are going to try and grind out XP and win that way. They could do it. Germany's trying to push on offense, so. Okay, I'm gonna poke around, see what people are up to in the long run. Status quo still in France, army in Spain, shadow scheme in the UK, 4 years in Germany, industrial there, local development of planes. I guess not much has changed. Although Mexico is blazing down their trees. And the Soviets are just trying to develop internally. Hello, allies.
Hello.
Hello there.
Remember, if you trade with me, I get stronger.
Let's remember who the enemy is.
The true enemy. So, do you guys know what's going on with Spain? It looks like they just had an epic collapse of their defense.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like this Spain player is just as good as the Italy player of last game.
Oof. Oof. Them fighting words. Them are fighting words.
No,
That's rude.
fighting words. No. Observations.
Observations. Well, remember, if you guys trade with me, I'm more than willing to supply you with resources. I mean, that's the
Okay.
job. That's the job of the Soviet Union anyway.
Yeah.
Max, you're like always, like, you are the one who is always causing us to have bad.
You have to know who the enemy is.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, have good luck. I'm gonna go see what the Axis are saying about this trouble. Okay, what?
It is very important. You probably know what I'm going to say, but that you send volunteers to the true Spanish.
To the true
To save
Spanish.
them from this.
To the Republicans.
Yeah.
And give our condolences to Spain.
Okay, I will. Hello, Axis.
Hello.
So, what is happening in Spain? All part of the plan. Should I send volunteers or should I sit this out?
Don't worry about it. Just sit out. Yeah.
I mean, you're already really much. I mean, attaché.
Yeah.
It's called.
I figured the attaché was fine. Because I'm not sending troops. Just give them a little bit of help.
I mean, they are doing very much. I mean, they are actually breaking me a little. So there's that.
Yeah, but it looked like what really happened was just a collapse of the front line on the western side. So I suspect you'll hold out there in Spain because you got a river, so you should do pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, best of luck. I'm headed out. I won't send troops. I'll just leave the attaché there and send some supplies. So best of luck.
Thanks.
Bye.
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 And back to my lonesome chat room where no one comes to talk with me. The Germans and Italians have already sent support troops to Spain, so for now I'm just watching and getting army experience from whatever is going on out there. Plus, I got enough internal issues I got to deal with. I mean, I made a dumb move there building military factories first, so I got to recover from that. Okay, finally managed to reform my government, get a little bit more stable. Let's go see what's going on. Germany is doing autarky. UK still shadow scheme. France is joining Britain. We've got collective ethos being researched in both Spain and nationalist Spain. Those are pretty normal. Italy, Industrial Effort 2. Mexico, Rural Infrastructure. US, Agricultural Adjustment Act. Romania, air superiority, and China currently does not have a national focus set. Might be saving political power. Japan is about 2-3 researches away from the war in China, so that'll be exciting when that fires. I think they're gonna have their border incident with me first. So that's where things stand. Germany versus Russia, I'm inevitable. We'll see. I mean, depending on how the war goes, it might be more beneficial to reach an equitable agreement and call the game there, but we'll see. What do you mean about the fuel thing? Why fuel is functioning the way it's going? Or why I'm sending fuel at all to Spain? It's because Spain does have some non just pure infantry regiment, so I figured they could use some fuel. I mean, that's my logic, but I mean, I've got an excess of fuel. What else do I do with fuel? I suspect in the long run Spain can win. After all, AIs are not necessarily nearly as good as human players. I suspect what's happening is the German player is asked the Spanish one to do this mainly to farm XP so they can have a good army upgrades. Still, they're losing a fair amount of troops attacking them. Republican Spain has lost more than actual Spain, so we'll see. I suspect Spain can win in the end. I suspect they can win without too much issue if they actually get around to it. Oh, so you're confused what fuel is. Fuel is essentially what oil. It's essentially oil. And in order to maintain your stuff in combat, you'll see there's a current consumption versus maximum consumption. And that roughly tells you, what you've got. So right now, my current fuel is I've got about 625,000 barrels of oil, I guess, and I gain 5.6 a day. But if I was to fully field all my armies, navies, everything, I'd be using up 10k, so I'd be barely able to support half of my military at full functionality. I mean, it's historically accurate that you did have to worry about fuel. That's part of the reason the Germans, in fact, invade Russia, is to get fuel, because there's a lot of oil in this region historically. Although it doesn't look like there. Oh, I hate clicking on the plane thing. There's not any in the map here, but there is, as you can see, oil down here, which is the Germans need oil for their tanks, so that's one reason they attack here. It's just a new feature. It's to make it so that you can't just field endless armies of tanks like used to be what you did before. Now there's actually some legitimate reason to not always have your full military moving. It's a little bit annoying, specifically for a lot of the ship nations like the UK. They can't really maintain their fleet, which historically they should have been able to some degree. So it's a little annoying, but it is, I guess, somewhat more realistic. Yeah, pretty much. It means synthetic fuel and trading is a lot more key. I mean, there's only a handful of nations that have tons of oil in the world. The U.S. is one. They end up, the U.S., Venezuela, Romania, obviously the Soviets, Iran, Iraq. Dutch East Indies has that. If you run out of it, your tanks and stuff can't really fight. I think you do have like a base gain just from existing, but it's extraordinarily low. So yeah, you do have to manage it. Germany usually wishes to do like synthetic oil pretty early on just so they can keep their tanks moving. Oh wow, Italy finally killed Ethiopia. That seemed to take a long time. Honestly, I'm surprised it took that long. I guess Italy must not have devoted much to that war. And as usual, Ethiopia takes over all of... Ethiopia dies, Italy takes over everything. Well, I would if I had really any army experience to spend on doing stuff. Right now I can't really do much of that. Otherwise, I would do something. But once I get some army tradition, yeah, I'll go over division template stuff as far as I'm aware. Lama Lord is role-playing in his absolute dreams to be Canada since he can't join us. Well, in case you're curious, Canada is working on the Maritime Colonial Railway, still has the Great Depression, and a conscription crisis among French Canadians. So yeah, that's what's going on there. Let's see, Mexico's purging the bureaucracy, US is doing the Neutrality Act. Let's going on in Spain? Industrial effort, internationalism focus, industrial effort, strengthen government, smart move from the French player, get that going. More industrialization in Germany, extra research in Italy, still focusing planes over there in Romania. China is apparently going to start wars against the warlords rather than build a united front. Interesting decision. Japan is about, what, one or two researches away from their war. So we'll see where that goes. Well, the big thing about combat width is really you want either size 20 or size 40 combat width so that you actually have the most efficient, because I believe, I forget how many units you can fit into a single combat zone, but there is a specific number. I think it might be 80 or 80. It's either 40 or 80. So if you have one regiment of 40, you only need one troop to defend it. If you've got 20, you can fit two. It's more about how much organization you can throw into an area. So it's useful that way. I'll go into it once I can actually reform my divisions. Canada world domination. Go Canada. Yeah, this is a little bit messier than the standard Spain I have. Italy and Germany are still farming XP. Looks like Spain's actually doing something though. Not that that's the smart point to attack a mountain province. I guess they're trying to get XP. See how it goes for them. Yeah, the USSR is strong and stable, I guess. So there's small mercies. The US is supporting the fascists by inaction then. Ooh. I guess that would make sense from the perspective of the Soviets. Defensive focus for France. Research slot in the UK. US arsenal of democracy. Smart move. Mexico's still trying to arrest a strongman. Spain is going construction. Oh, one Spain. Fascist Spain's doing that. Non-fascist Spain's finally doing industrial boost. Romania is instituting a royal dictatorship. And Germany's still doing industrial. Italy is triumphing in Africa. China is off conquering people. I should probably send them some troops. Yeah, let's do that. Well, if you leave Llama Lord, I don't mind. They're probably a lot more entertaining than I am. This is pretty boring, to be honest, right now. But that's just the way it goes. Oh, it would be so easy if I had allowed boost ideology to force France to become communist. So easy. I won't do it though. But it would be nice and easy. Oh, look at this. Something's happening in Spain. The Spanish and Germans are on a push. The Germans have now sent like how many divisions? A couple. Still only a couple divisions. We'll see how this goes, though. They'll probably win. Let's see. Curious to see how this will go. I can't boost ideology. I turn that off so that you can't mess up human players. Otherwise, it's way too strong. And, well, I would commentate on this. There's not much going on right now. I'll commentate if things get interesting, but right now it just looks like, your pretty standard Spanish Civil War. Well, it'd be nice if some of those viewers or comments wandered onto my stream, although it'd be probably a lot less interesting, and he probably has like more than 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, Romania is a human player. They're currently building up airplane stuff. Ah, we have normal China expanding. Good plan, try and unite China before Japan invades. They're trying to beat a couple different people at the same time. These guys could join my faction, but I don't feel like getting involved in a land war in Asia if I can avoid it. I'd say the Axis are doing a pretty good job here of beating communist Spain, they seem to have managed to break their lines, so that's progress. Well, the casualties are certainly mounting on both sides down here, although currently Nationalist Spain has lost a lot more troops than... yeah. Republican Spain's lost a lot more than Fascist Spain. Curious to see how things may change as time goes on. Looks like the German and Italians plan to keep world tension down is succeeding. Yeah, I only have 1 million troops in reserve. Time to make that go up by, oh, what is it going to be, like 3 times? It's going to double. It's always nice. This is taking too long, so I'm sending a few troops to help Republican Spain. Another victory for China. They're moving really rapidly through these warlords. Making sure they're in a good position for the Japanese attack, it looks like. No, you probably saw the flag, because annoyingly it's lagging when I'm zooming in and out, so sometimes when I zoom in it displays the fact that there are Portuguese troops in the Iberia region. It's not particularly helpful though. Ah, so we now can see what's going on in Spain. Because I have sent some troops to give them a bit of a hand. Still only sending infantry, so... I'm curious to see how the actual battle will go. Here comes that glorious XP. Well, I don't think the cornered fox of Mao Zedong is going to survive this invasion here from China. It seems like communism in China might be dead, which is too bad. Casualties are mounting on both sides of this war rapidly. UK's got more of their stuff done. Currently don't have a research slot. Italy's prepping for a war with Yugoslavia. Germany's innovating militarily. Mexico managed to arrest that general, is now doing role schooling for an additional research slot. And the US is doing War Department stuff. And Romania is preserving Greater Romania, which probably means they're going to start trying to conquer their neighbors. All which is well within expected parameters. China is doing military affair commission. Japan is currently engaging in a border war with me, which is really not ever going to go anywhere. Unless, for example, I'd want to escalate the conflict and prepared to actually declare war on Japan, which I don't think I really want to. I probably could if I actually cared to. Well, all I'm doing is helping the communists in Spain a little bit. It's not a particularly large fight. It's more along the lines I'm just going to pick up some XP. The war is going to rage on for quite a while. Even though the Axis did wipe out some Spanish troops, it was not a overwhelming shift in troops. Well, it's a dumb fight. I don't even know why Spain is constantly attacking, but they are. World War II should start roughly in 39, so we've got about 2 more years to go. Give or take a couple months either way. What we're doing now is pretty much everybody's building up. The Spanish question must be answered. The question of China versus Japan needs to be answered, and it's really an opportunity for the great powers to get stronger and avoid as much war as they can. Or engage in as much as they want to, like the Axis. Oh, because the reason I have the funny things for the infantry is I'm playing, I believe that's a setting, because I'm playing as the, what is it, UN codes and stuff? I don't have pictures on my end. I don't think I can alter that anyway, either. I think that might be the NATO symbols. I don't know for sure. That's just what it's defaulted to on my end. Quite a border conflict with the Japanese going on here. Nobody's winning that one anytime soon. Whoa, we have a big shift here in Spain. The Axis are pushing forward. Oops, why do they keep us unassigning my field marshal? I have no idea. I mean, I expected something like this to happen eventually because the Axis just have more troops in general and better troops. Germany specifically. If you notice, it's all Germany. Apparently the German players are actually a lot better than they claim to be because they're pretty adept at using spearheads to penetrate lines. So this is going to be fun. We're not actually cut off at all because even though they've divided it here, they have not taken the ports. So we actually have full supply. So all they're really doing is extending the line of battle, which might not be the smartest point. I'm getting a comment that communist China is essentially Vietnam. Yeah, it's all mountains with forts. It's really hard to penetrate your way into that region. We'll see eventually. I suspect China will win. It's just going to be very painful for everybody involved. Oh, Communist China wants to join me. No, thank you, Communist China. You can deal with that on your own. So I have to say, this thing always makes me wonder here. So I've got this constant message of units organization is too low to advance, but sometimes I get it in ones that have full organization. It's always very weird to me. But I guess it's functioning properly. I guess I just usually have low organization. So I'm actually happy the Axis are winning here because look at all the XP I'm generating. This is actually really good. And it's only 4 Mountaineer divisions, so I'll just rebuild them. The amount of casualties the Germans must be losing in this war, though. I'd hate to see how many troops they've lost. It doesn't bother me. I don't ever use paratroopers, and I've never used a transport plane in the game, so I don't even know how you use them. So I'm fine with this. Part of the other reason is they have air superiority. They're using there are tons of planes. I think Belgium has sent troops to Spain. That's interesting. Well, we have a pretty much fully united China, so that's impressive. We're going to see quite a lot of resistance from Japan when it comes to attacking them, assuming Japan ever attacks them. What do you mean, turret monster tanks? I've never built anything other than just tanks. You mean there's other forms of, like, tanks? As far as I know, there's just your base tank. Oh, my volunteers are in a little trouble. Time to get them out of there. Actually, it might actually be worth letting them die here because of how bad they're doing attacking me. This is hilarious. Ow, the casualties of the sign of nationalist Spain are horrible. I wouldn't want to be nationalist Spain. No, the reason I'm supplying Spain is it's bleeding a lot of troops. There's no point in me not supplying them. I'm not even trying to build up stockpiles. There's no real point. I'm going to lose so many troops. It's better they're undersupplied than actual supplied troops. No, they won't peace out because it's a civil war. The AI can't peace out of civil wars. Oh yeah, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. It gets me speeded up tank research, so in this case, for me, it's worth it. Get some heavy tanks if I want them. So let's see what's going on around the world. Mexico's building steel plants. U.S. is building warplanes. British are doing overseas service. French are building tank stuff, I guess. The defense to reform their army. Germans liquidating coal. Italians could attack Yugoslavia, but apparently they've decided that's not worth it at this point in time. China is expanding their research. Japan is doing new naval estimates. I'm just arming up. What is Romania up to? Hidden little Romania. They're doing agrarian reform. That's roughly where we're at. I mean, we could do the Berlin-Moscow axis. It'd be very interesting to see what happened. If it did, I wouldn't even have to fight a war. I'd just pretty much just max my production and give it to Germany because they've got much better generals. Well, if it goes on much longer, the Yugoslavs are going to get themselves guaranteed it can be guaranteed by either the UK or France after a certain date, at which point the Germans are going to have a slightly harder time than they expected expanding into Europe if the Allies join before Czechoslovakia even falls. That would be interesting. Because they can join the defensive wars, they just can't launch offensive wars. What are the factions? We have the Axis, which right now is just Germany, but it's pretty much Italy, Germany, Romania, and Spain, assuming they win the Civil War. Then you've got the Allies, which will eventually include the US and Mexico. You have the Comintern, which is me. And then you've got China, who technically doesn't have a faction, but considering this is what they control, they're pretty much a faction on their own. Japan still hasn't even done their Asian prosperity sphere, which is weird. So I don't know what's up with Japan. I mean, I'm fine with that. So is, I assume, the Chinese player. More time to build up internally, but still strange. No, because eventually Ireland will join the Allies, so they'll probably leave it alone until then, but we'll see. It's really up to them. They can't attack till the war tension gets higher, and they can't attack anybody who hasn't caused war tension, so you won't see a ton of trouble there. You may just see Ireland survive the entire game, honestly. No, oddly enough, there's no mechanism for transferring land other than, a war, which would become absolutely massive. It's kind of weird there's no giving land ability in this game. Yeah, and at this point, the UK would not have a claim on the rest of Ireland. That would have to be in like 100, 200 years earlier when they actually controlled Ireland for quite some time. Hey, my divisions in Spain are finally dying. I'd hate to wonder how many troops they killed on their own. I think it was something like 30,000 easily, so well done, troops. You die in a foreign land for no particular reason other than to bleed Spain and Germany of manpower, and you're succeeding very well. Oh, and Italy. We're going to stop in roughly 15 minutes or so because we're about an hour late starting, so I can only stream for, another 20 minutes or so. And people have to go, so we're going to do another 15 minutes of gameplay, and then I'll talk to the alliances and see if anybody sticks around to see what they were up to. I suppose I could do that now because I'm not doing anything whatsoever. So yeah, let's go see what people are up to. I think I'll go talk to the allies first. Axis will be a little bit more interesting.
We gaan in 15 minuten stoppen.
Hello, allies.
Hallo.
Hello.
So, how are you guys doing?
I'm sleeping.
Well,
You're sleeping.
we have a Pixel in the call, and he hasn't said a word in 3 hours, and I think he fell asleep.
Who, Dath?
Yeah.
Or Unipixel?
Unipixel.
He's still doing stuff. France is still researching away, so unless he's somehow given the AI control over it, he's around. He just might not feel like talking. He's put himself down to 1 regiment to train his level a lot. So.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
No, I'm here.
Hey!
Oh.
Hello.
I've just been going to social, so I've just been sitting on my phone and just researching and doing focuses and shit.
We missed you, brother.
Yeah, we missed you. We tried to get your attention, but
We want your attention.
failed.
This game has been really interesting. I've completed 200 levels of my mobile game so far, so...
I've been reading a book. We have somebody who wants to join. I think this is Javas, finally. He's gonna literally join for the last 10 minutes of the game session, so...
Oh my god.
It's gonna be Japan.
No, he's gonna be Bulgaria, as he said. So what do you guys think about this war in Spain?
Well, I think they're just grinding for XP now.
Yeah, we all are. That's pretty much what the whole point is of that war.
I mean, it's pretty smart though, but
he's joining.
Yeah, he's joining. I was just dealing with stuff on my end. So he's coming in.
I was wondering if you could read one joke again. A joke from your joke book.
oh my god, yes, I love that.
Okay, joke from a joke book. Let's see. Oh, that's not a joke book. Where's my joke book? There's my joke book. I got a book that has the same cover.
Oh no, he's gonna pick Turkey.
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Oh, yeah, interesting decision. Okay, so here's a joke. When a husband arrived home, his wife told him that the maid they had recently dismissed had stolen 2 of their towels as a parting gesture. How dare he, stormed the husband. I know, said his wife. They were our 2 best towels. You know, the ones we stole from the Hilton Hotel on holiday last year?
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Anyway, I'm going to wander over, see what the Axis is up to now that we've got this person jumped in. So, see you guys later.
See you guys. See you.
I don't know if you were watching, but
Hello, Axis.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
So, how's this war in Spain going?
we're gonna finish it now. We got enough XP. We're just gonna
Yeah.
finish it.
Yeah, I'm just still getting XP from it, so I'm just sending more volunteers for the XP itself. It's nice.
Oh boy, don't get encircled again.
What, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted you guys to encircle us. That's why I pulled my troops off the coast.
Of course,
I
of
know.
course.
I did. You guys noticed. Then I realized I should probably help Spain, but I wanted them on the mountain ranges. You guys lost like 90,000 troops attacking 5,000 of my men.
Yeah.
Not really. We lost about 16,000. I don't know about.
It's
something like that.
actually that was a lot of troops that we lost there.
Yeah, it really wasn't worth wiping out a couple of my cheap divisions. So thank you for that. I got 300 or so army experience total out of that siege. So
Yeah, that was a lot. But
So-
boy, dude, okay, So I love how when we were encircling, they were doing our own thing, but then I was like, all right, guys, stop attacking them. Let me attack first, and then all of a sudden, and then we were like, okay, there you go. Now everyone attack.
Oh.
We just had to get the playing bonus and everything, and then
Yeah. The AI is particularly bad at defending. That's what the next patch is going to fix, supposedly.
What's the maximum amount of command power?
It depends on it, but it's usually 100. Some people get bonuses that push them over 100.
I think USA got some.
Some of the,
yeah, that makes sense.
there are a couple bonus ones, but I don't think any of you guys particularly get any extra planning bonus. You guys get planning bonus. You don't get command power bonuses, I believe. I think that's only China and the US that have bonuses. Not that command power really is worth that much.
US gets a lot. Like they get since they have the Pentagon or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get War Plan Division, which gives them more. They get Pentagon and yeah, plus 25 maximum command power increase, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty useful. I don't know what you use command power for other than traits. So.
Oh, you use it for
special attacks.
Oh.
Basically.
Oh. Is it worth ever using special attacks? I find it tends to wipe out divisions.
You can get about what 20.
That's how I was pushing you guys through the mountains, because I was like, okay, guys, stop doing it, and then I got maximum command power, and then went force attack, and then that gave me an extra 60 attack power.
And cost you way more troops, because your divisions don't retreat, right? Don't they just die when you order that?
No, they don't.
Oh, I thought they did. Oh, they must have patched that.
If that happened, that would be super dumb. Like, I would never do that.
That can happen if your divisions are like too small.
Oh, okay, that's why. I have no idea what good templates are, so I've just been doing the standard like 40 infantry defense one. So.
I mean, so long as it works.
As long as it works, boy.
I don't know. I've never actually bothered to fight Germany with the USSR other than in vanilla patch 1 version. So I don't particularly like Hearts of Iron, so I'm not trying. I'm reading a book actually. So yeah.
Actually.
What?
Reading a book.
I am. It's not like I'm talking that much. We're just honestly just trying to figure out what your guys' future plans are, because if you guys don't move quickly, the Yugoslavia is going to get guaranteed by the Allies, because they can do it after a certain research. So I'd be careful.
I mean, we can't do anything about it. We can't even attack them.
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
Because of the rule you set up. So there's that.
Yeah, you gotta wait till 30. We got another year and a half, so you'll be good there. But anyway, wandering in to let you guys know, we only got like 7 minutes more until we stop for the day. So.
Alright. We might just be able to get Zaragoza.
Maybe, hopefully. Best of luck. I'm just gonna keep throwing more troops in there for the XP, so it's fun. Anyway, talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, well, I guess we're pretty much just winding this down. The Axis are still XP grinding their way through Spain. US and Mexico are building up. France, I assume, is... well, France is actually pretty stable these days, so good for them. And Romania is still doing their plane build-up. And China is attacking one of their own puppets, interestingly. And Japan is finally going to attack China. So hopefully next session will be slightly more interesting than this one for everybody involved. If we do another session, we'll see. Well, the war in Spain drags on as usual. Casualties are mounting. So it looks like the Spanish players are using their assault focuses to try and break through defensive lines. Oh, China just wiped out one of their puppets. Good for them. This China is doing really well. It's going to be a very united China that Japan's going to run headfirst into. Very united China. Well done, China. Other notes, synthetic rubber is being researched in Germany. UK is researching colonial elite. France is building infrastructure. Spain's building military factories. Both Spains are building military factories. US is getting more tech. Mexico is still doing their tech as well. China is reforming their army. And Romania's infrastructure, and Bulgaria. I'm sorry, the new human player is on domestic arms industry, and so they're building up their military as well. So military buildup all around. Okay, well, we're finally winding it down. We got about less than a minute here. Why don't I play Ming in EU4? Because I don't want to collapse. I'm trying one of the strategies in EU4 where you lose Mandate of Heaven in like the first 10 years, and then you can do it, but it's a really hard and annoying start, so I don't think I'll probably do it for a series. It's too easy to tributary the world as the Ming, though, so I guess you could consider that winning. So, anyhow, it is, well, pretty much exactly time to stop now. So, that will be it for this game session. And hopefully you guys have done it. So, thanks for you guys who have watched the stream, for watching it. Hopefully it'll be more interesting slightly next session. But it's amazing how slow the game is when you have this many people, even on 4 other speeds. So that's it from me for this stream. Thank you guys for watching. See you hopefully next week, but we'll see whenever we can get all the people together again. Bye for now.